return on the scoreboard.
Yeah, exactly right, especially through the middle part of the ground, in between the 50s. The Giants just turn the ball over there too often, and that's where West Coast like to go. They like to rebound from that on the way back because their forwards generally will have space on the counter.
Eagles by 4 points. So different to when the Giants were here last year. It was 111 the margin. It won't be that tonight as Cornelio gets it out in front of Stewart, who gets away from McGovern once and then twice, and then pops it onto the left boot up high. McCarthy comes. So did Yo with courage. Saved the goal there, Yo.
Super effort.
Wonderful effort. And what can they do on the way back?
Might have got a cork thigh out of that, McCarthy.
Yeah. Beautiful kick. Shepherd to Wellingham. Spoiled from Davis on Kennedy. He's not done with yet. Kennedy.
It's got better Phil Davis in that battle. Good tackle. Only had two tackles inside forward 50 in the first quarter. The Eagles. A little bit to add to it now.
Cripps low, keeps it that way. Wanted Lacroix. Here comes the dangerous Josh Hill. 2 goals in the first quarter. Goes back towards Duggan. A little bit fierce with the handball. Goes over the line.
It's lively, Josh Hill, isn't he, at the moment? Yeah. What they're doing well, Durham, though, West Coast, is closing up the Giants there. As soon as they Giants get their hands on the ball, bang, they've got someone putting a little bit of pressure on just to try and affect the disposal going forward.
Cameron still on the sidelines getting doctored up.
Well, Matt Newey got rid of Mumford there.
Interesting quarter time stats. After that initial onslaught by Natanui, where he was fantastic at helping clear the ball and
they got
scoring.
2 goals from it.
Yeah, 2 goals due to his clearances. Mumford led 8 hit-outs to advantage to 3.
Okay.
So once it gets around the ground where Mumford doesn't have to stand on the other side of the line, he's getting in close and pushing Natanui away from the true throw-up of the ball.
Gee, that was nice work from McCovern because Smith had him cold. He just ducked under the tackle. Smith didn't go for the hips. Willingham going back.
Natanui's gone forward again. So what he's done by doing this right now, he's dragged Mumford away from this down the line kick because he's such a general with his players. Now he'll come in from the right-hand side of screen now. So he's come from about 40 metres up the field.
Jeremy, you can just see them very quickly, the big plugs now in Cameron's nose. Understand how difficult that is to run around and cover 12 extra Ks in a game, which he's going to have to do now, with 2 massive plugs hanging out of your nose.
It's not something you want on Instagram, is it? Oh. Here's Prittis, did well there to release Cripps. And away goes Lacroix, and away goes Butler. Wonderful work from the stoppage by the Eagles with a kick from Butler, just letting him down. They've still got numbers, though. Not 15 for Yo. Now Shuey, back to Prittis. Gets clear, beats 1, beats 2. Couldn't beat 3. Whitfield, Cornelio, Patfull, quick hands. Toby Green, 2 goals in that first quarter. Now gets a bit of room to move. Put it out in front of McCarthy. He's got a couple of metres on Schofield. Oh, Schofield. Just waited for it. Got the smother.
That was so important, that smother, because Ryan Griffin had worked into the space. That ball was going to be put out in front of Ryan Griffin, who would have been able to work into an open goal.
That's where Hill hurts you. He's been so good and dangerous, that's going to be turnover, but he allows Nick Haynes to come up and meet the footy. They turned it over and given it back to the Eagles.
Yep, and Prittis looking really dangerous now. Duggan squeezes the kick forward.
That's a free. Oh, umpire, you've got to pay that. McInnes is being held. How did he get away with that, Aiden Call?
And the crowd agrees with you, Durham. Great tackle by Gaff. They're still going here, West Coast. They deserve a goal. They're doing all the attacking. They've got all the pressure, but the kick's just not hitting their targets. Patfull, Mumford, just in time, the big fella. But again, Elliot Yo with another mark. And they're going to send it back in again, the Eagles. This time he goes really long. Natanui's at the back. The big fella reaches over the top, couldn't get it. Shaw off the outside of the boot, hoping to find a teammate. And he does. Scully.
Law has to run.
There it was again. It looked like Patfull just looked away from that contest to put body on Natanui, but wasn't called for restricting his jump.
Got to go long to Stewart, who's over the back.
He can play on.
He's got some explosiveness, this lad.
McCarthy wants it long. He's just got it. Oh, well, it exploded there, Dermot.
Look how he rolled in the grand final.
They've mucked it up. Cornelio can find a target and they can hold. That's good running from Scully, who started it back here. We know he's a hard runner.
They've got to own the ball for a little while, the Giants. Because the Eagles have had all the attacking for about 45 seconds or so and put them on the back foot.
No Cameron there, so Schofield takes a very strong mark and gets it out wide to Sinclair.
Great example from McCarthy then, when he does his vision at the next week, get behind the goals and look at what he possibly could have done better, and coming back at the kicker rather than just continuing to go back. And that's what allowed Schofield, his direct opponent, to get off at the right time and take that mark.
From Davis did very well once again. Oh, looks like Josh Kennedy. Is he on the ground?
He is, yeah.
He is sore. He is really writhing in agony.
He's in trouble, Josh Kennedy. Trainers have gone to him. He's the danger man.
He's
2 goals. Yeah. He's might have got a sting on the elbow. Oh, dangerous kick from Smith, but just in time for Cornelio.
This is where, side on to the footy, GWS are more dangerous than the Eagles. They're able to transfer from one wing to the other and get good space. Oh, that's going to be hurt.
That's a good tackle.
It's a great tackle. It was a dumb handball from Padford.
Yeah, call for it going past, so he should have been aware.
Oh, there you go.
Really well done.
Yeah, he's done that a few times tonight, and here go the Eagles again. Cripps waits for support.
Well done, McGuinness too. He just got in the line of Adencorn and didn't allow the cavalry to arrive for GWS and be the from-behind spoiler. And he's up and running around now, Josh Kennedy. He's
still shaking the arm. Yeah,
I've just been watching him do it. The right arm, a bit like when you're asleep and that. He's just been shaking. It's coming good as he speaks. He's getting it above his head now, so he had the opportunity to come off when he on this side of the ground, but chose to stay on.
Don't know what you're doing with your arms in your sleep, Dicko, but
haven't even woken up with a dead arm.
I do, and I'm not going to go there. Here's Shepherd.
Oh, good
kick
spoil.
Over the top. Good spoil.
Geez, turned into a really good player, Nick Haynes. But he got he's a high draft choice anyway.
But his improvement from last season to this season so quickly.
He was a kid with talent last year who showed glimpses. He's performing every week now.
Big switch here from the Giants. They do run hard.
It's a great kick.
Kelly, play on the call. 1 on 3. Ward might come in to help, but the Eagles should win out. Although Griffin arrived through the legs of Ward's shield.
Good power.
Yep. Smith going to chip over the top to Griffin.
They've got numbers back here, the Eagles. So Giants, what we've seen so far, have been more inclined to try and take it around to the other side of the wing. He'll go long now. Hope for a big grab. McGovern's got a sider on it.
McCarthy ran past it. Strange release from Green.
Josh Kennedy's still off, boys. The 2 doctors and physio are still attending to that right elbow, as it looks like.
What I'm watching now is I'm looking at this spread across the field, and they only get run from deep defence. Their midfielders don't break wide, don't try and make space, the Eagles. We know they haven't got a terribly deep midfield, so we've got Bennell who's running through up the wing now. See, there he is. He's running left to right out of the right-hand side of screen. That's their hard runners. Hard run again from a full back now in Schofield.
But they'll use the corridor more so than the Giants who go wider.
They do, but what it is, it's left to fewer. And I reckon their options are less as they come forward when they're looking for the run. He picked us a shell and peas for McGovern.
Oh, he loves that situation, but he's going to switch it wide. Yo getting plenty of the footy. He's up to 12 disposals. And now Prittis by hand to Shepherd.
Let's see how they run on here.
Willingham. Long ball. Sinclair in good position. Davis stayed on his feet, but he's got to be careful because Hill jumps on top of him. Free kick Davis.
So watching Wellingham, Dicko, I watched Wellingham then. He kicked and he made a beeline for the bench. They don't run on to support the next kick. He's come off in front of Benny Dixon now.
If they can find Josh Kelly, he can go. They do. And they've got more players up the field. Davis slow to get up, so...
You remember he had that horrible injury last year to the kidneys.
He's coming off. We've got Kennedy off, Davis off. Well, he might not go off yet because it's coming back towards him. He might be forced to get involved. Although Wilson does like to back himself. And put his teammates under pressure. Patford gone. Should be a goal the Eagles. Hill spent it before he had it. Still numbers for West Coast.
He's got the free kick for a
free kick, Josh Hill.
We've got Callum Ward mic'd up.
I thought Callum Ward actually handled that pretty well in terms of coming in over the top of the contest. Look, I thought Callum Ward was going to receive the free kick for being infringed, trying to get away from the contest, but not the way it was seen.
Amazingly, though, this is the first goal for the Eagles for the quarter. First goal for the quarter.
I reckon, yes. I reckon Callum Ward was arguing contact to the legs then.
Well,
even though we sort of ran in and shinned him in the head.
We've got a mic on him, so we'll get that later on. Josh Hill's kicked 3, though. He nails that. First goal after a fair bit of time has elapsed. 10 minutes, in fact.
Well, Josh Kennedy, he's off the ground, injured at the moment. You can see there whether it was hit to the funny bone or the elbow or something like that. He was in a fair bit of pain.
Oh, I'll tell you what, he threw the elbow back.
Yep.
He's what do you call that?
Hit the nerve.
I reckon he's hyperextended that.
He's actually heading down to the West Coast room, boys.
He's heading around, yeah.
He's thrown that around.
And it's gone back.
Yeah, it's gone back further than the bend.
So that's not good news for West Coast fans watching on. He's getting a lot of applause, but I'm sure he'd rather be getting applause for his 3rd goal. Hill has 3. The Eagles have 5.
Well, he got his 3 last week as well. Josh Hill against the Brisbane Lions. He's in good form.
Oh, look at Nat Nui from the centre. Does that so often. Runs on. Kicks it deep. There's Hill again. Big spoil. Nick Nat's still going. He's still going. Can he get it? He throws it on the left boot.
Oh, that's what he can do. That's so exciting. Look, I'm a critic of his being able to find the ball around the ground. But when he's in the middle, he's exciting. And if the ball runs on from the centre circle, he does really well because it's going in a direction he knows he can go as well. And he can trail it, he can trace it, and he can use all that wonderful athleticism.
Shield to Treloar. Good tackle. Might have won it there, Don Sheed, because Scully was away and Sheed's held it in. That's good work.
West Coast happy to drop 2 spares back at this stoppage again, boys, just because they know that the rebound they can get off half-back's so damaging. So happy for them to have their numbers at the stoppage. West Coast just setting up beautifully at the back here.
And Ben, Phil Davis still off. What's that looking like?
Yeah, he came off. He actually was dry reaching. So he's sitting here now. He's obviously got his breath back, but nothing untoward. The physio doctor haven't gone to him at all.
Chance for the Eagles. Marston on the left. The crowd will like this one. He's just across the face.
They're just building. Their pressure's been very good. They're building on the back of that at the moment. West Coast time in forward half. They've done very well, especially over the last 5 minutes of play here in the second quarter, where they've been able to really build some good momentum and just need to capitalise with a couple more goals.
Really critical. League footballers, he'll get shown that, Josh Kelly, and they'll say, why did you let the ball get out? You took a quick kick that was a hat kick, it got rebounded in legs, and it resulted in a shot at goal.
Cameron's back out there, which is good, but his handball to Griffin wasn't that good. Now on the rebound.
Now they're getting some money.
On the burst. Sheed. Haynes with the intercept. Couldn't quite take it. It's got to beat a couple. Lacroix, quick hands out to Yo. Having an excellent game. He hooks that back towards Nick Nat. Got him. Elliot Yo had a bit of time on the bench, but he is 13 disposals, leading the disposal list for the Eagles.
They're killing themselves, Durham, the Giants, with their pop handballs, and West Coast are able to just come in and do a really big hit on the Giants player, turnover, and ball ends up like this. When they get on the fast play Eagles, they're very difficult to stop. It's happened 4 times in this quarter where they've popped the handball above the old hospital handball and they've been cleaned up.
The Eagles are playing it pretty well, coming up to that recipient and really putting pressure on him.
Nat Nui hit the post in the first quarter. He makes no mistake in the second, and it's the biggest lead of the night so far.
Davis coming back onto the ground now after that goal from Nat Nui. Haynes has come off sore on that occasion, but this is where the turnover's created here. The pop handball to Ryan Griffin, he got closed up, and then they're away. They've got numbers everywhere. The Eagles, good contest there from Yo and Haynes, but on the ground it's all Eagles again, and Yo's just able to go onto his left foot. Get it to a dangerous spot. Nat Nui going forward.
He created the spill on Haynes and then got the ball again.
So 9 inside 50s to 3 in this quarter, and they're getting the reward on the scoreboard. They're out to a 17-point lead with the first 2 goals of the quarter. They're looking dangerous.
Dermot, you said about Nick Nat Nui frustrates you around the grounds. Where's the breakthrough game for him? Is it the 25-5? Because once he gets to a level that he know he can get to, he's just going to go to that elite status.
Yeah, once he can predict where the ball's going around the ground and know that he can cut it off at that angle and meet it then, that's when we're going to see the best of it. Because, you'll start getting, possessions in the 20s.
They've made something from nothing here, the Eagles. They've won every one-on-one. They were tough to win, and they're still going. There's a free kick, and there's advantage to Nat Nui. He took it and he kicked the goal. That's a great team goal, West Coast Eagles. All clear, umpire.
Best I've seen Josh Hill move in some time. He is absolutely dominating this game. at present. His work in the forward half has been excellent. He's kicked his 3 goals, involved twice here to get the ball forward. Free kick to Gaff there. Everyone stops. Nat Nui grabs it, runs in. He kicks the goal. 2 in a row for Nat Nui.
Well, the Eagles are down by 4 on the contested possession for the half so far, but they're +3 in this quarter.
+6 in tackles this quarter as well. And that's not through chasing, that's through proper effect around the mid part of the ground where they've closed the Giants up.
3 quick ones to the Eagles. Can the Giants answer the challenge here? And just before Shuey got clear, the whistle had just gone.
Always the way, isn't it? You get a clear ball, and it's just as the umpire blows the whistle to bounce.
Stewart in the ruck against Nat Nui. There's Shuey again. Strength to Sheed, to Bennell, to Shepherd, and they push it wide. Butler. Cripps kept going. And this is where they're winning the one-on-ones in this sort of situation. That's a mark. Down low to Sinclair.
He's got a fair leg on him, this lad, too, hasn't he? He can give it a ride. Not going to aim them up here, or will he? No.
He heads to the dangerous spot, top of the square, big leap.
That's a jump and a half.
Who was that, Elliot Yeo? It was.
Yeah, Elliot Yeo, he's just enjoying himself tonight. On the free rein. Boundary throw in. Not a lot of tall timber there. Well, they got there in the end. Shield, a Scully. Shuey took it, hooked it over the body. Haynes, he just spoiled Davis, and guess who? The captain, Hearn. 4 in a row, West Coast Eagles. They're going to have a review, but it'll be a goal.
It'll be a goal. This is really good footy by the Eagles now. It's going to be a really good test for the Giants.
Just testing whether it's touched.
Because the Giants have lost their shape at the moment. They're allowing things happen, which I'm sure before the game they would have said, right, we don't let A, B, C, X, Y, Z happen. And one of them is Shannon Hearn into a damaging position. So they've got them under pressure. They're winning the ball. They've got the contested possession win, and they're dictating terms from there, the Eagles. That's a goal. That's a goal.
It's clear as mud.
No complaint at all from Haynes as well. The defender touches it, you know, straight away.
He's handed it.
So in the space of 5 minutes, the game's out to 29 points.
They're building well, West Coast. They deserve this lead in some ways because of the pressure that they've been able to build in the forward half of their ground. And now they're getting rewarded by having the 4 goals in a row. So it's up to the Giants now. They need to respond, especially around the middle part of the ground.
Thrown Cameron.
Midfielders need to get on board.
Thrown McCarthy back there now.
So McCarthy back as the loose tall, if you like, in the back 50. So a little bit of damage control here from Leon Cameron.
There's not too many sky balls going in there, which is going to suit McCarthy.
You nearly look at it, Derm, differently, where West Coast like to rebound from there. If McGovern, this ball's called as a stoppage, McGovern and Ben will like to run, and Hearn. So they'll go. They'll get on their bike now, which helps them more. It's nearly your wingman that you'd nearly just allow to go back. If they get midfield ball wide, that's okay. You can actually block that up a little bit more and reset better, rather than just throwing your best forward back to that position.
No,
Yo again with the clearance. There's the loose man in McCarthy. He went past it.
Didn't get to it.
Spoiled by Shaw. Marston trying to work it out. Bug. Caught by McGuinness. And they'll have a ball up. The Giants yet to register on the scoreboard for the quarter. Doesn't look like it really. Shuey, another inside 50. Off the knee of McCarthy. Green dives on it. We want to be careful here. And Shepherd gets on him. And that's probably fair enough, because if he doesn't go into his back, he probably pins him for holding the ball.
Now, by playing on from behind, he's once again missed the target. You've got to go long, or you have to hit that target.
Marston, Lacroix, Wilson arrives.
Wilson did really well then, but McCarthy's back up in the middle of the ground, because his natural play is once the ball turned over, he just naturally drifted
forward,
rather than holding his position as as that number one defender, the +1, to be in that position to mark the ball.
Mumford and Sinclair. Sinclair made front spot. Mummy takes it out of the air though. McCarthy's quick kick. No one home for the Giants. They're in defensive mode at the moment, but they get a very kind bounce. Or for a second they did. Now Stewart's got a problem. Go on. Holding the ball. Advantage paid. Bennell, who's the loose man for the Eagles. Onto the chest of Yo. Onto the chest of Sinclair. Good footy. Good transition. And Elliot Yo is having a night out.
He's playing well. Super effort again. I mean, bad bounce to McGovern, and then Stewart comes in, bad bounce to him. He seized upon turnover, and they had numbers back, the Giants. They blocked up the area down the corridor, and Sinclair was the one who had Mumford, probably a little bit too fleet of foot for him on the lead, and led outside that corridor.
This for 5 in a row. Oh, jeez. Left to right in a hurry.
15 inside, 50s to 3 in this quarter.
Yeah.
In this quarter,
they're all over him. Hey, Dicko, any sign of Josh Kennedy returning?
Not at all, Dermot. He's still in the rooms. Patrick McGinnity's been warming up, but that's just stock stand, I think, for the sub. And both doctors are still down in the rooms with him as well, so they haven't returned either.
Well, no rush at all now as well. The call might have gone down.
Got a buffer.
Yeah, you've got your time. We've got a nice little lead at the moment. We're on top.
5-goal lead. As Brad mentioned. Mumford.
Push out. Hang on.
It's a whistle from
Smith's overruled here.
overruled, yeah.
Umpire Justin Smith has
holding.
overruled
No, it's a holding for
Luke Farmer.
So it's away from the ruck contest.
Yeah.
You've got to use that spare now and switch. Come on the 45 like Shealy's now.
And chips it into the middle.
He's gone again, Shield.
And Whitfield's got some space. He can turn and almost have a shot. But he drills it low. Great intercept. Butler read it beautifully. And can the Eagles tidy up from this? Not yet, but now they're out. Shepherd down the line. Lacroix.
Geez, they're working well as a unit.
Aren't they?
Really strong. Cutting the angles off defensively as a group. And they're working back really well as a midfield.
Hearn has crept up forward of the centre here. They'll go at the other side. If they can get it quick, they'll get it out to Bennell.
Yeah, they've got Sinclair. There's a bit of a fumble. Sinclair's still loose. There, he's got it now. Chip pass to Sheed.
Mumford's down the line, so they'll probably be best to just hold the ball, slip it around.
Marston's running around all by himself at centre half forward.
Yeah, Dev Smith didn't go out with him.
That's really
Got
slack
40
by
metres.
GWS. They need to move the defence there.
He goes into the pocket, and there's a bit of room for Lacroix.
It's 2 years ago, or post-knee problems. Lacroix sails over the top then and takes a one-touch grab.
So the Giants still yet to score in this quarter. Smith, quick give to Patful. Now, the question is whether that's off above the knee. Yep, umpire in good position to say that was above the knee, so boundary throwing.
So much. He got bashed around a little bit early, didn't he? Yeah. Let's have a look at the inside 50s. Just for this quarter, 16-4.
Big numbers.
Make it
Big
17
discrepancy.
coming up.
Not yet. Nelly.
Fumble.
Nelly.
It's like waiting for the last number to come out in Lotto. And as usual, doesn't happen. Ward off the left. Just touched there by McGovern, so we'll have a boundary throwing right at the interchange area. Busy as always. McGovern just a little bit slow to get back to Stewart. A little bit proppy.
Well, there was a bit of a doubt over him a couple of weeks ago leading into the Brisbane Lions game, McGovern, so he might be just carrying a couple of slight niggles around the lower leg area.
He received a corky in the thigh in the first quarter, just late in that quarter.
There's those quick hands in close. I reckon occasionally they're getting that, as you call it, the pop. It's getting picked off.
There it is quick though. It is good reflex, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's McGovern there again. We had a look at him close. He's definitely has an issue.
hampered by injuries this year, haven't they?
That applause is for Kennedy, who's jogging back, Ben. Just saw at the bottom of the screen there.
He'll be loving that, don't worry.
Scully, quick hands, Shaw.
Oh, fell into his... Oh, umpire put the whistle to the mouth and then thought, no, I'll let that roll.
He's Shaw get up and say, what happened? No.
Pulls his bottom row of teeth out of the turf. Oh.
So Kennedy back to the bench. Another free kick away from the ball, this time to Ward.
Haven't scored yet this quarter, the Giants. Oh, good lead.
Well, he made good position, Stewart, but he did everything but mark it. But he's involved again. Got boot to ball. First back should be Butler.
He'll take it over. Oh, well done.
Gaff. And Haynes is there. And he couldn't keep it in because there's some pretty solid, tough work from Shuey.
One thing I've noticed which is happening here, now Mumford's a pretty good endurance athlete at getting around the ground. But the Eagles have thrown Sinclair and Natanui at him, and they've both worked him over pretty hard at running him around the field. He's not getting a lot of help. Maybe Stewart is coming up and giving him a little bit of relief for like 90-second spells. That's about it. So he's going to get really tired in the second half.
Well worked by Davis to keep that in. The Giants somehow get it forward. They still can't get a score on the board, though. Here's McGovern. That'll test him out. He's down. He's dragged away from it by Shield. Past Cameron.
Gee, they're defending well, aren't they?
Yeah, they're defending really well. Wellingham gets it to Hearn. In turn, Marston, Prittis.
They're getting great midfield help. Marston, Shuey, they're all getting back. Sheeds getting back. Wellingham's doing a good job as a wingman as well.
He's having a game and a half.
His personal best disposal-wise is 24. That's not his best. That's out of bounds on the full. But he's up to 17 by half-time. So he's on the way to a PB, but he's doing some good work in close as well. Kennedy probably won't be back out.
They need a switch here. They've lined up on the near side to us.
Got numbers.
Yeah, they've got a wealth of numbers.
Shaw will be next in the queue, although Hearn gets there in time. Well closed down by Lacroix.
And go back.
Patful. Got a minute and a quarter to hit the board. Core.
Got to go long now. Cam McCarthy must mark the ball, although he's against best of field Yo here at the moment.
He's going to get up and get away from him probably. And he did so. Spinning was Gaff. Yo gets it back.
Recovery.
Bennell. Prittis, innocent space. Ooh. Short pass. And we thought the Giants had the space out this side, but the Eagles closed them down. And inside the last minute, they will be the team with the final score of the quarter. Can Shuey kick the goal?
Called it well, Matty and Durham. That contest between Elliott Yo and McCarthy was a critical one. Yo, as you've said, best on the ground in this first half. He was great. 2 efforts to get the ball in the middle to Prittis, and then he just uses it so well.
So Shuey, 14th disposal coming up. He's taken it inside 50 4 times himself. He kicks from just outside the 50 to make it a 6-goal game. And it's perfect. Right on the siren. We saw it in the first quarter with the Giants. It gave them momentum, but that didn't work. But I'm sure it's going to give the Eagles plenty of momentum going into halftime. They dominated that quarter. It took almost 10 minutes, Brad, for a goal. After that, we just saw 5 in a row for the West Coast Eagles. Too good.
They're just closing things up really well, aren't they? They're closing the Giants' run. We saw pre-game the transition run from the Giants. They haven't been able to get that going tonight because of the fact that West Coast are putting elite pressure on.
Let's go to Ben down the ground. He's got Tom Scully with him for the Giants.
Thanks, Matty. Tom, not the quarter you wanted, but you started okay, but it's half back that's obviously shutting you down. They're really pushing in on you there.
Yeah, look, their pressure's really good, so we've just got to find a way to be a bit more composed of the footy. I think we're overusing the hands a little bit, so we've just got to be a bit more composed of the footy, but their pressure's been good, so we've got to work hard.
Leon mentioned about shifting their defence a bit because they're stacking some numbers back.
Yeah, he certainly did, but again, it's just our ball use. You know, we're not using smart ball use centre forward, so got to adjust that.
And the ground itself, it's obviously big, but Leon spoke before the game that, you know, you run and gun game, you've got the space to use.
Yeah, we can, but we've got to win the ball inside. West Coast is smashing us inside, so we've got to get the ball to our runners, and then we can run.
Good luck, Skulls.
Thanks, mate.
Yes, they've got to get some inside ball happening, but we're going to take a break here from Domain Stadium. The West Coast Eagles in control after a very good second quarter. They lead by 36.